Hi everybody, this is Ellen. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make a either happy cup of coffee, hot chocolate, I guess it's just kind of whatever you want to call it. I think it turned out super cute. Just a cute little cup, and the liquid or whatever you're going to put in there is lower than the lid of the cup, so super cute. Lots of different options. This would be kind of like a cup of plain black coffee, I guess, or hot chocolate, but you could obviously I use white, so probably not a good idea to use white. And then if you want to put like marshmallows in here for like little wrapped bands, if you want to do hot chocolate with marshmallows, do like a different color cup. But lots of different things that you can do. You can use little beads to do that, changing the color of the cup. The handle is put on separately, so that could be a different color as well. I just love how it turned out. Super cute. Hopefully you enjoy it as well. But we'll get started. This is on one loom, of course. Band-wise, it's 283 for the cup, and then 50 for the liquid inside of it, and then 1 to 3 black bands, depending on if you use the 7mm pony beads for the eyes or larger, which can be cute on a lot of the designs, and then 2 pink for the cheeks, or whatever color you want for that. So we'll get started. First we'll make the cheeks and the eyes, and if you want to use the beads, then you're going to want either 7mm pony beads or whatever size you want to use, and then something to thread your bands through them. I just have a piece of craft wire, but just anything that you can get into a V shape will work as well. So take 2 bands the color of your cup, put them down into the center, and thread your tool through the center of your bead. And that would be a beaded eye band, and you would want 2 if you're going to use them for eyes. Then if you don't want to use beads or don't have the right size beads, you can always use a wrapped band for that. So whatever color you want your eye, you put it on your hook, wrap it around one time into a figure 8, grab both sides, wrap them around again, and then pull through whatever color your cup is through the center. And then you'd want to make 2 of those as well for the eyes. Cheeks are made the same way as the wrapped eye bands, so whatever color you want your cheek to be on the hook, wrap it around one time into that figure 8, grab both bands, wrap them around again, and I actually need to make my other one, so I'm going to do the same thing again. Then you just take 2 bands of whatever color you want your cup to be and pull them through one of your cheek bands. And then if you will need to make 2 of those. Like so. The 2 of those, and then we also have the handle is made separately, so we can make that ahead of time as well because we need it pretty quickly. So what we're going to do, 2 bands to start with. We're going to put them on the hook, wrap them around into that figure 8. Then you're going to take 2 bands, double them on your hook, pull them through the cat band we already had on there, and back on the hook, like that. Now we need to do that 5 more times. So there's a total of 6 of the double bands. So on the hook, wrap them around one time, pull them through what's on your hook. And this will be a lot easier with a latch hook as well, so get that out if you have it. So it's 2. 3, 4, 5, So 6 total. So our little cat band. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what we're going to do is take 3 bands and pull them through. Just pull them straight through. And then 3 more bands. Pull them straight through. And then 2 bands, doubled. Pull those through. And finally 2 more bands, doubled. And pull those through. So it looks like this. So cat band and then 6 double bands and then 2 triple bands just pulled through and then 2 doubled bands pulled through. So now, to make this a little easier, this is the handle. Well, we're going to pull a couple bands through here. That'll be the color of your cup if you want to do this ahead of time. Otherwise, you can just kind of put it on later. But I think it's kind of easy to put it on now. So I'm just going to take a band, or 2 bands. I'm going to pull it through the first group on my hook. And then I'll pull my hook out of there. I'm going to take 2 more bands and pull them through the other side. Like that. So now when we go to put this on the loom, it'll be super easy because we can just kind of use these as our bands. But we can set that aside for right now. So I need our loom. I'm going to kind of work in the center here. We are on 12 pins, so we don't increase beyond that. So you just kind of want to keep in mind not to start too far down your loom. So what we're going to do is drop 2 bands for the color of your cup on 12 pins around. So if I start right here, so my cup is going to be blue. So 2 here, and then 2 on 5 pins up. And this is the color of your cup. So that's 1 set, 2 sets, 3 sets, 4 sets, and 5. And then 2 more up here. So that's the cup color. And then we're going to drop some more bands, but this will be the color of your liquid on the inside. So we're going to have a nice rich brown. So starting down here at the bottom in the center, it'll be 2 of your liquid color. Next one's up will be 4. And then 2. And the next one's up. And then 4 on the next one's up from there. And then 2. And then 4. And then 2 again up here in the center top. So like that. Now we're going to do our center, what will be the color of your liquid. So we're going to make our little chicken foot right here, and then 1 down here. So 2 bands, starting from this pin, off to the left. And 2 bands straight up. Everything will be double banded unless I say differently. 2 bands here. And then do the same thing down here. that. And we'll need a cap band on this pin up here starting. So it'll be 2 bands wrapped around like 3 times. Like that. So now what we're going to do is loom this out and puff it out. So we'll go in through our cap band, grab the top 2 bands, pull them back towards themselves all the way around, like that. Now, if you want to do like marshmallows for hot chocolate or things like that, you would want to add them on as we go. And you can see in here, kind of pull this back a little bit, it is the kaleidoscope center. So like here's my center, which is these 3 bands here and these 3 here. So you probably want to bury them too close or too far around the outside edge. You probably want a few kind of in the center here. So this will be where we put them on. I'll add a few. So just same thing as the wrapped eyes and the wrapped cheeks, 1 band on the hook into the figure 8, then wrap it around 1 more time. I'll have a few ready for the other side. Of course, you can add as many as you want, wherever you want. And with having a different color cup too, they'll be more noticeable all the way around the edge. But so I'm just going to take the top band and slide this down, and then put it back onto the pin. I'll do the same thing over here. At least it's not like my snow cone where it's every single one. So, but it's kind of have a few around if you want. It's up to you. Otherwise, like I said, you can just kind of do the straight coffee or straight hot chocolate. You don't have to do the extras. So then what we're going to do is kind of use this band as our cap band. So go in through here, and then from this top pin, grab the top or the liquid bands, my hot chocolate. So I'm just going to say hot chocolate. So grab the hot chocolate bands and pull them back towards themselves onto that pin. Come back in through here, grab the top 2 hot chocolate bands, pull them back towards themselves. Same thing on the left pin. Pull them back towards themselves. Then we'll do the same thing here. If you want more of your marshmallows, you want to add those in as we go. Don't forget about them if you want them. So we'll go in through this next spot. I'm going to grab the top 2 of the hot chocolate bands that are left, pull them back towards themselves. Then the same thing from the pin down below. Grab the top 2 hot chocolate bands. And then the same. Then for this band right here, so we're going to go in here and puff this out too. Grab a hold of these bands, take your hook, pull it up like you're looping them on the hook, and then what's on your hook will go on this pin. And we're going to do the same thing here onto the other side. So go in through here, grab the hot chocolate bands, pull them up and through and back onto the pin, and come down, grab the hot chocolate from that pin below, and once again grab the hot chocolate bands, pull them up on the hook, and then on the pin, like that. And now we can puff this to kind of get a little bit more room to move this stuff down. So we can puff these 5 pins up here. We don't want to do anything with this one. I know we did a little bit of looming on it, but there's still more to go on this pin, so don't do anything with these, but these 5 up here we can. So if you grab these cup colored bands below, hold on to them, go in through your liquid bands, pull up the cup bands, both of them on the hook, and then take and replace the cup bands onto the pin. And do the same thing for the other ones as well. For this top one, I usually can't get my fingers in there, so I'll just loop it onto the next pin, go in there, loop it, and then put it on the pin. Like so. One more to go. I'm sorry if there's a buzzing in the background. It's getting colder here, so our furnace is starting to work again, so there's kind of a noise, and I just don't have the video card capability, even though I have very nice video cards, to render it out as I'm editing, so might be a little bit buzzy at times. Just thought I'd point that out. So we did that up here. So now what we want to do is take our cap band and stretch it down to this end so we can do the same thing down here. So pick it up, pull it down. Shouldn't be too much of a stretch, but pulling it around the pins here, releasing it from up here above, kind of pulling this down, will help to reduce some of the tension on this so that it's not so tight as you loom. Because we puff these out, there isn't usually a whole lot of tension there, or not a ton of it. But again, we're going to go in through this cap band and loom out our 3 bands. We're basically just doing the other half of what we did up above. So I'm going to add another marshmallow right in the center. And just that top band. So what we're going to do is go in through this middle band here, grab the hot chocolate bands from the pin below it, pull them back towards themselves. Go back in the same spot. We'll grab these the bands, the top 2 hot chocolate bands on the pin to the left, pull them back towards themselves, and then grab the ones to the right. Top 2 bands, hot chocolate. So then we'll go in through this band right here. I'm going to grab the 2 bands off this top pin for the hot chocolate. Then I'll go in through this spot again and grab the 2 bands from the lower pin. Like that. And then grab the hot chocolate bands, hold them out, pull them up on the hook, and then on the pin. Now we'll do the same thing to the other side, in through here, grab these last 2 hot chocolate bands, pull them through, back onto the pin, back in through our little center here. Grab the bands from the pin below, the hot chocolate bands in particular, and then our last hot chocolate bands. Grab those, pull them up like you're going to loom them, then put them on the pin. And finally we're going to puff out our last ones around for the cup. The same thing we did before. Grab the band, put your hook in through there, pull it up like you're going to loom it, put both ends on the hook, take the bands off the pin, and replace with what's on your hook onto the pin. And do that all the way around. Last ones here. Alright, so this is what it should look like now. All the way around the sides you're going to have 4 bands. You want to make sure you push those down as far as you can. So now we're going to do something that's kind of annoying. So we need to make the little kind of lip that hangs up above where the liquid is. So what we're going to do is do a crossed row all the way around with 2 bands. So we're also done with the hot chocolate color, so you can put that, or coffee color, put that aside. No more marshmallows either. So 2 bands. I'm going to start down here, put them on the pin, and just cross it. And I'm going to do that all the way around. Doesn't really matter a whole lot which way you cross. Like that. So now looking at the side, we still have the 4 puffing bands below, and now we have 4 bands up above that. Now we need to squish them down again. So I'm just kind of making you aware of what's on the pin because we are going to put another row around. So again, 2 bands all the way around. Oops. So like so. So now on the side, it's kind of a mess. We are not going to touch the puffing bands from before. So those 4 bottom bands, those are going to stay on the pin. What we are going to flip over are the middle 4 bands from our crossing bands that we did. You just kind of have to look, like here's my very top band, here's my next band. So you can kind of do one set of bands at a time. So I can flip this one over, and then flip over the next one. And you can do that all the way down. If you can see both bands, one side in particular makes it a lot easier. But if you can see both bands to grab them and not be grabbing either the top or the bottom, you can do that and flip them all over. It's really whatever's easiest for you, but we just want to leave the top 4 and the bottom 4 and the middle 4 have to be flipped. This is the only part that I think is kind of, or the most stinky, I guess, about doing this, so hopefully it's not too bad for you. Couple more to go. I really do think this is really cute. It's adorable. Alright, so now we have You should still have the 4 below, and then there's the 4 on top. Everything's flipped. So now go ahead and push these down again. You're going to do another row around, and this time we're going to attach the handle, what we had here. So it's just 2 bands all the way around, but the handle is going to go right here on these, between these pins here, and we already have the bands pulled through that we're going to use for that. So just start down here, 2 bands, until you get up to the spot up here. So once you get here, we have our handle that's going to come around like this on the side. So we want to make sure that these kind of are connected properly. So what I'm going to do is this first band, first 2 bands, I'm just going to grab them. They're going to go on to these pins. Like so. So now we have the other bands that come through. Gotta get them out of the way. So you have the other bands that come through. The ones that come through on the center side, we want that to be on the center pin. So however that is easiest for you. I'll get my fingers out of the way here. But you want it to look like this. This would be the kind of just the underside, but so that when it flips over down the side of the cup, it looks correct. So there's nothing's twisted. So you want it to be like this. So then just kind of keep that out of the way, and then continue the rest of the way with the 2 bands. Like so. So once again, we're going to go in here and flip over the middle 4, which might be a little bit easier to spot because they have this kind of the little band wrapped around them right there. So go ahead and grab those, flip them over. Do not flip over the bottom 4 or the top 4. It takes a little bit more time to do this because you have to be careful, so. I've been doing that a lot lately, knocking a band off when I flip things over. It's kind of annoying. And the last one up here at the top, we'll just flip it right over the top of the handle bands. So like that, you should still have the 4 below from the very first, the liquid row that we put on, and then the 4 from the row we just put on. So go ahead and push those down. Then what we're going to do is one more row around, and then we'll make it a little bit easier on ourselves. So again, 2 bands just all the way around. like that. Then again, flip over the middle 4. Now technically, you could flip over all of the bands underneath, because we are going to do that next after we flipped over the middle 4. I just found that when I didn't separate them, like flip over the middle 4 here and then flip over the bottom ones, that looked a little bit messier in the or on the side of the cup. So I'm still just doing the middle 4 first, and then we're going to come back and flip over our liquid into the side of the cup. So I know as we get farther along and I tell you to do that later, you'd be like, why didn't we just do it all at once? Because I agree, it'd save a little time, but we want it to look nice too. So like that, we flipped over the middle 4 all the way around. So now we're going to come back and we're going to flip over the very bottom 4 now. Just flip them up over the top. Like that. So now we should just have 4 bands on all the pins. If you want to, you can start to kind of release this and let it come up. It's going to be stuck a little bit. I would really be careful about snagging the top row of the cup, because it's hard to get them to go back in so that you have the nice edge. Try and get the liquid below. That's usually not too bad. Getting back in where it needs to go, or just using kind of the side of your hook to grab stuff instead of just grabbing right onto this and pulling straight up. So you can give it a tug up if you want. Like I said, just be careful of that side edge. So push everything down. This is going to be our eye row, so you want your eyes however you made them, either with wrap bands or beads. So 2 bands, starting at the bottom here. So up 2, and then right here we're going to put our eyes. So let's take your eye bands, stretch them out, set them right there, and then 1 more right next to it. Like that, and then 2 bands all the way around the rest of the cup. Like that. I'm going to flip over the bottom 4 all the way around. Like that. And push everything down. Next is our cheek row, so the cheeks are going to go right on top of where the eyes were. So So you want those bands as well. So again, I'm going to start down here, 2 bands over these pegs, and then the cheeks. Right here. And then 2 bands all the way around the rest. Like that. Flip over the bottom 4. All the way around. Like that. Push your bands down. Then we want to attach our mouth. So whatever color you want your mouth to be. You put the band on your hook and just wrap it around once into that figure 8. Then come down here between the cheeks. You're going to grab these bands that are on the pin, pull them up and off, slide down your mouth band, and then put the bands back onto the pin, like that. Now we're going to do a row around. So 2 bands all the way around. Like that. Then flip over the bottom 4 all the way around. Like that. And your cup should come up quite a bit now. I got it still snagged on some bands there. Which is okay, because when we go around to close it off, if they're snagged, then that means that it won't pop off the loom. I already love it. So, now we're going to do another row around, and we are going to attach the handle. Just go ahead and push everything down. So, starting down here, I'm going to go 2 bands, and then when I get to here, we're going to attach the handle. So, 2 bands. Now, when we get to here, you want to make sure the handle comes straight down, like that. I want to take 2 bands and pull them through one side of the bands, and this is going to go straight down onto the pins on the right corner, like that. And then I'm going to actually just snag the bands on this pin. I'm going to go through the other two bands that are on the left side. Snag those bands, pull them through, and put them on the pin. So it looks like that. This end is not as tight as the other end. It doesn't need to be, so it works well. And then two bands to the beginning again. Like that. Just then flip over the bottom four. I hadn't taken my loom apart for so long, so I have this one for tutorials and usually practicing and stuff, and I took it apart the other day for something, I can't remember what, and now it squeaks and the pin bars are loose, so I'm going to have to, they come loose now. Very annoying. Thinking about super gluing it, because I guess I have more than one loom, so I don't have to worry about it. Or needing to take it apart, but I don't know, I haven't decided yet. Alright, so I have all that, and then push it down. I should say, when I say super glue it, I'm thinking of actually coating the base plate around it with super glue, letting it dry, and then sanding it so it's a little bit snugger as I can put it up into the pin bars. That's what I'm planning on doing. But I don't know yet. We'll see. Alright, so now our next row is going to be an alternating doubled band row. So I'm going to start with one band. I'm going to double it, and that will go right here. And then two bands in the next spot up. And then I'm going to do another doubled band. And I'm just going to alternate as I go around. So like that. So doubled and then double bands all the way around. So again, flip the bottom four. Like that. So now we are actually done. We just need to close it off. So I would recommend either using the latch hook and just going and picking up everyone around, or doing the threading band. Whatever way you choose, be careful, because you have those doubled bands on here, and if you're, like I'm going to use the latch hook, when I go around to snag these to pull them tight, when I'm over here in this corner with my hook, then there's a lot of tension on the bands up here, so you might end up snapping a band. So just be careful as you go around, and hopefully I won't snap any either. But like I said, it's still closed fine. And unfortunately, if it is the doubled band that snaps, then you kind of just have to close it and hope it looks well, because if it's because it is only one band. But if it's the double the two bands together if one of those snaps, and that's fine because you have the backup other band. So just kind of keep that in mind. But I'm going to kind of start a little bit towards the front. I'm just going to go in through every band all the way around. Just be careful. I think my pin bar is actually broken. That would make, and there was my doubled band that snapped. So again, everything's falling apart. What do I do? But you just keep going until you get around. And I'm not worried about that band that snapped. It happens. Right there. And there's not a whole lot you can do about it. So we're just going to close it up and see what it looks like. I know a lot of times people worry about the snapped bands, and realistically there isn't. A lot of times it doesn't matter. I should have used the threading band, but I'm going to pull this through. Slide it down. You would think with using rainbow loom bands they wouldn't break. But then just kind of get that position for the bottom of your cup first before you pull tight. Like this. You kind of want it to have that little bit of lip, but then not a whole lot. And then once you kind of get it the way you want it to look, pull tight. And then you want to hide your tail. Pull that up inside. So I guess this design, it doesn't like being taken off the way I took it off. So here's where it broke. I can't really see much of a difference besides the little band poking out. So I'll just take my hook, bring it up next to it, kind of snag it and just bring it inside. Looks good to me. Hope you agree. So in the top portion, you kind of want to get in, stretch out the top of the cup. If you find that, one thing I noticed, if your bands, your liquid bands might be poking out to the side, like if you kind of twisted your those cup bands that we had on the side earlier, before ones that we had to loom around, if they kind of got twisted, or just how you put them on the pins, it happens, but your liquid band might be poking out, like out the back or out the front or something. It's just a matter of getting in here and pulling the liquid bands back in, and kind of pulling those cup bands back in that we flipped over. Doesn't take a whole lot to do it, but you might notice that or might have that issue. I didn't this time, but I did before, so. But they just go back in fairly easily. So you want to shape it, or pull the top up so you kind of get looks like the liquid is down below. Super cute with my 3 little marshmallows. So, besides the band breaking at the end, which I apologize for, I don't like having that in there, but I'm so close to being done, and I think that it looks fine with it, the way it happened. Nobody will know but you and me and whoever watches this video, so might be a lot of people. But I think they turn out super cute. Oh, with the handle, it should kind of bend it by itself the way it's supposed to. That's why we did like the chains in there, or the bigger chains. It should come down the way it's supposed to, but if you need to, you can take your hook or just your fingers and kind of pull the bands or slide them the way that you need them to go to get the better handle shape. So it's just kind of, but mostly it should just kind of come to the right shape. Super cute. I hope you like them. I think they turn out well. I love them. So if you make any of these, I think that's adorable. Adorable. If you make any of these, I would love to see them on my Instagram, which is @craftingfantastic, or on my Facebook page, which is feelinspiffy or crafting fantastic. There is a link beneath the video that you can go to show me. And then, of course, if you subscribe to my channel, then you can find out when I'm coming out with new tutorials, so you can enjoy the adorableness with me. That would be fantastic. But I will definitely have more for you soon. I hope that you enjoyed this, and happy looming!